Let's dive straight into the list of experiments that crossed the line. Number 9. Kale. Kale was literally garbage from Pizza Hut before it became Hollywood's favorite superfood. In the 90s, Pizza Hut was the largest buyer of kale in America, but they didn't serve it, they used it as mere decoration on their salad bars. The same leaf people now pay $12 for in a smoothie was just there to beautify the ranch dressing. Most of it ended up in the trash at the end of the day. Then, in the early 2010s, health bloggers discovered this garnish was rich in nutrients. Suddenly, kale wasn't just decoration, it was a superfood. The price of kale went up 25% in a single year. Everyone was putting it in everything: smoothies, chips, face masks, and even kale wedding bouquets. Farmers who had practically given it away became vegetable celebrities overnight. Today, organic kale costs up to $5 a bunch. That's a 500% price increase since its garbage garnish days. The same vegetable that was a Pizza Hut garnish is now sold in premium $15 salads.
Number 8. Oxtail. The story of how the rich turned literal cowtails into gold. In the old days, oxtail was the cut butchers gave away for free. It was the meat equivalent of that ugly chair your neighbor puts on the curb with a free sign. Slaves and servants received these bony scraps because the rich considered them worthless. But these worthless pieces were packed with flavor. The secret? Collagen. These tails are full of collagen, and by cooking them low and slow, it melts into liquid gold. People who couldn't afford fancy cuts figured this out centuries ago. They cooked the tails slowly until the meat fell apart, creating incredible stews. Then, a fancy chef probably tried the stew in the wrong part of town. Chefs started putting oxtail on luxury menus. Now, the cut butchers couldn't give away costs more than some premium steaks. We're talking about a 400% price increase just in the last decade. The people who've been cooking it for generations are seeing the prices soar. It's like their grandma's secret recipe got leaked on Gordon Ramsay's Instagram.
Number 7. Oysters. In 1800s New York, instead of hot dog stands, there were oyster carts everywhere. These slimy mollusks were basically the hot dogs of the era. They were so cheap and common that people threw the shells into the street. Some New York streets were literally paved with crushed shells. Pearl Street is named for having been paved with pearly oyster shells. Restaurants offered all-you-can-eat oysters for the price of a beer. Prisoners complained about being served too many oysters. That's like being complained about being served too much caviar in jail today. With the growth of cities, more sewage was dumped into the water. Oysters, as natural filters, soaked up all the filth. Eating an oyster became stomach Russian roulette. The rich started paying for oysters from clean waters. Suddenly, oysters went from poor man's protein to fancy people food. Today, you can pay $5 for a single oyster at an upscale restaurant.
Number 6. Canned fish. Back in the day, a can of sardines cost less than $1. It was poor people's food, emergency food, or apocalypse food. Then, influencers started doing canned fish date nights on TikTok. Everyone started arranging gourmet little fish from Spain on wooden boards, calling it sea cootery. The same sardines your grandma bought for 89 cents are now being sold for $15 a can. They don't even call them sardines. They are now vintage harvest Mediterranean silver swimmers in extra virgin olive oil with hand-harvested sea salt. These fancy cans have their own Instagram accounts and origin stories. These anchovies were caught by Juan, a third-generation fisherman who only fishes during full moons. Specialty stores that only sell expensive canned fish are popping up. Mackerel, once the cheapest fish, now comes in gold-finished cans for $20. There are even canned fish subscription boxes where you pay $50 a month to get gourmet fish delivered by mail.
Number 5. Vintage pickup trucks. Those beat-up vehicles farmers used for hay and workers used for tools are now luxury items. That rusty 70s Ford bought for $2,000 can sell for more than a new Mercedes. People are actually paying extra for fake rust. Companies take a perfectly good vintage truck and deliberately make it look beaten up. They add artificial dents and scratches because apparently nothing says I am rich like a vehicle that looks like it lost a fight with a tornado. The crazy thing is, Real work trucks with real dents are still cheap, but the moment someone adds the words artisanal patina to the description, it's worth more than your house. Some of these restored trucks don't even have air conditioning because it wouldn't be authentic. Silicon Valley executives are sweating at 90 degrees C because their $150,000 truck is too authentic for comfort. Most of these trucks never haul anything heavier than a bag of Whole Foods groceries. The bed, designed for timber and livestock, now primarily carries organic kale and designer dog food.
Number 4. Caviar. In the 1800s, American bars gave away caviar like they give away peanuts today. The same caviar that now costs $200 an ounce was completely free. The rivers of America were teeming with sturgeon. These prehistoric fish were so common that fishermen considered them a nuisance. They'd catch them by accident while trying to get more valuable fish. The Hudson River had so much sturgeon, they called it Albany beef. You could feed an entire family on sturgeon meat for pennies, and the eggs were worthless. Bars served bowls of salty caviar for free. Salty food makes you thirsty, and thirsty patrons buy more drinks. Then, European aristocrats discovered American caviar. The rich started throwing caviar parties. Fancy restaurants began serving it on little toast points. The price skyrocketed. The demand led to devastating overfishing. Fishermen would catch pregnant sturgeon, cut them open for the eggs, and toss the dead fish back. By about 1900, sturgeon populations collapsed. A fish that survived the age of the dinosaurs was nearly eradicated. Today, most sturgeon are endangered. That's why a tiny scoop of caviar can cost more than your monthly grocery bill.
Number 3. Bluefin tuna. In the 70s, these huge fish were considered trash and were literally fed to cats. That's right, your grandpa's cat ate what's now worth more than your car. Then, the rich in Japan discovered this trash fish made for sophisticated sushi. In 2019, a single bluefin tuna sold for $3.1 million in Tokyo. That's like paying for a mansion, but getting a fish. The same fish that was dumped into cat food cans is now sold for about $200 a pound in restaurants. Imagine paying rent money to eat something your grandma wouldn't even touch. These fish are so rare that actual tuna cartels exist. They are like drug lords, but they are smuggling fancy fish. The bluefin tuna population has declined 97% since the 60s. For every 100 tuna swimming back then, only 3 remain today.
Number 2, collectible sneakers. In the 80s, sneakers were just shoes. You bought them for $30, wore them until they fell apart, and bought new ones. But then the rich discovered they could make money off your childhood memories. Those beat-up Air Jordans you threw out as a kid? Someone just sold a pair for $615,000 at auction. You could have bought a house with your old shoes. The buyer will never wear them. They will sit in a climate-controlled room like a sacred relic. Sneakers have become the new art. Instead of a Picasso on the wall, you are displaying shoes in a glass case. There is an entire underground market for fake sneakers. Sneaker authenticators now exist. It is a real job, someone who verifies if the shoes are fake or real. They make more money than most teachers. Most of these super expensive sneakers were made in the same factories as the cheap ones, the same materials, the same workers. The only difference is that a rich person decided this rubber combination was worth more than your car. Sneaker investment funds now exist. Instead of stocks, people are buying shares in shoes. It's like Wall Street met Foot Locker and had a very expensive baby.
Number 1. Volkswagen campers. The Volkswagen van started as a cheap utility vehicle in post-war Germany. It was designed to haul things in factories. Then hippies discovered they could live in them. You could buy one for a few $100, perfect for those without money. These vans were the original tiny homes, but you didn't need a trust fund. Fast forward to the present, and these same rusty cans are selling for 6 figures. The vehicle designed for poor people now costs more than a real house. An immaculate 23-window Volkswagen Samba, sold for $302,500 at auction. That's enough money to buy an apartment building in some places. The rich aren't even living in them. They are buying them as investments. Some wealthy collectors are hoarding these things like they're Pokemon cards. A vehicle that was a symbol of rejecting materialism is now the ultimate status symbol. If you have an old Volkswagen van rusting in your backyard, you are sitting on a gold mine. That is, assuming you can afford the $100,000 restoration bill. That's all for today. I will be doing similar videos in the future. Sign up to see them.